This is Mark Tobias and Scheels.Many with Investigative Law Offices and Security Laboratories. We've undertaken an analysis of gun safes in part one of this report. Part two will be a follow-up with in-room hotel safes. They all have similar characteristics. We've looked at several different brands of gun safes that are extremely popular. We went out and purchased about 10 different samples from Amazon.com and Cabelas, both in the store and online, to evaluate in our lab for their design deficiencies, defects, and insecurity. What we found is not surprising. All the safes that you see in the background here we've tested, every one of them can be opened, and they can be opened fairly rapidly, and most of them by children. These safes are designed to protect valuables and protect weapons, and to keep kids away from guns. This inquiry began because of the tragic death of a 3-year-old, the son of a police officer in Vancouver, Washington in 2010. As a result of that inquiry, we looked at a safe that was issued by the Sheriff's Department in Vancouver. We found it to be totally defective in engineering. It's made by Stack-On company in Wauconda, Illinois. So we decided not only to document what was wrong with that safe, but to look at all of their other safes. Now, as you see, we have electronic keypads, we have biometric with fingerprint, we have key lock plus keypad, we have biometric, again, fingerprint by a different manufacturer. So we didn't want to just look at Stack-On. We wanted to look at some of their competitors. So we looked at INSEC, Stack-On, Bulldog, and Secure Vault, which are all shown here. We have others that we looked at, but this is a pretty good representative sample. You'll notice one of the Stack-Ons we have two of here because there's a design defect that we can exploit to open the safe in about 5 seconds, and so we wanted to make sure that it wasn't a manufacturing defect for one of them, so we ordered another one, same problem. So basically what our lab does, we analyze high security locks and other products for bypass capability. We work for some of the largest lock manufacturers in the world, and we find engineering problems. And in this case, it's our contention that Stack-On and these other companies, they honestly do not understand security engineering, and how they know how to make things work, but they do not know how to break them, and in this case, with potentially tragic consequences. We already have one 3-year-old that's been killed because of a gunshot wound. The gun was in a Stack-On safe, the safe was accessed, and the net result is that the little boy is dead. That is as serious a design defect as you can get. We tested, as I noted, 5 different brands, including Stack-On, which is one of the major manufacturers in the United States, and all of these, in our view, are defective. Their designs are not secure, and every one of these safes should be pulled from the market until they're fixed. They should be recalled. Amazon.com, Wal-Mart, Cabelas, any other retailer that's distributing these, as well as locksmiths, they ought to be aware of what the vulnerabilities are, because it's just a matter of time before somebody else gets hurt or killed. I should also mention that the California Department of Justice has enacted standards many years ago for gun locks. Many of these safes are rated as passing those standards and in compliance with them. We're investigating that aspect of this case right now, because California should not be certifying safes that can be opened by a child in seconds. Some of the implements that we've used to open these safes are a paperclip, a straw, a piece of wire that is just a little piece of shim, and actually a piece of brass that you can buy at any hardware store. This is particularly a problem because the most secure Stack-On safe that they make is a very clever motor-driven locking mechanism controlled by a keypad or a bypass key. This piece of brass will open that in about 3 seconds. we don't consider that as being secure. So what you need to understand is that all of these safes can be opened with, there's no audit trail. You'll never know they were opened. And this can be a real problem, especially for parents, because kids can access these, they can play with guns, they can get the contents out of the safe, they can put it back, you'll never know it. So we view this as a real problem. There's no trace. One of the videos that we did in preparation for this report is a 3-year-old child literally opening one of the stack-on safes and one of the MSEC safes. And this is because of a design defect in many of these mechanisms. They've been copied by the Chinese, and we might note most of these safes are manufactured in China. So we don't know who's responsible for the security engineering, whether it's the Chinese or whether it's the American companies that are importing these. What we can tell you is they really do not have a clue as to how to make a secure container. Some of these have an internal reset switch, which we actually exposed in 2010 with one of the MSEC models. There's the DL4000. These reset switches, many of which can be accessed directly, and again, on these containers here, they have reset switches. We were able to access them. So it is a real problem. Gun safes are designed to keep guns away from kids so that they cannot access them. We did a report years ago on gun locks and found that essentially most of them are worthless, even the ones that are certified by the Department of Justice in California. There's very few gun locks that we would rate as secure. Gun safes are supposed to be one step above that. None of these are secure, and again, these are the major brands in the United States. So we're going to talk about very briefly on each safe the design failures. The representations by all these manufacturers is they're secure. The minute they put a picture of a gun on the packaging that shows you can put that gun in the safe and lock it up safely, there's a problem because it's not true. Now, maybe the manufacturers don't know how to open up their own safes, which we found to be a major problem in the lock and safe industry. But when you start talking about weapons, it's a whole different venue. And again, in this case, manufacturing defects can kill you. And so all of these safes have design failures. We believe they can essentially all be opened by kids, and they should not carry DOJ certification. So we're going to go through and look at the mechanism, the container, and the locks. And as I said, stack-on was our prime focus because of the investigation that we became involved in, but we looked at other safes, not only to see what the state of the industry was, but to be fair. So we're going to go through now and talk about each safe and show in rapid fire how to open them. The first demonstration will be a stack-on PC 650. It's a portable security case with an electronic lock, and the interesting thing is it notes that it meets TSA airline firearms guidelines. We're going to show how to open this. This is obviously a personal safe. Toby, let's describe this and open it.
Well, this is a small gun safe. It's only 3 buttons, key override on the front. It's a dual side key. I got a combination, the center button 4 times. Inside is a slot so you can put a cable so you cannot remove the box. The reset to get the combination, set the combination, and the batteries are inside here. We just have to remove those 3 nuts, remove, and we have the battery pack inside. Okay, it's very simple, and we got a couple of ways to very easy or fast open this safe.
Okay, let's do it. First of all, let's talk about the access to the buttons and the removable rubber cover.
Okay, let's show exactly how this mechanism works. It has a hook, so that hook gets into a little latch that either can be actuated by the motor or by the key. Okay. The first deficiency that we saw on this safe is this rubber on top of the safe can be lifted and removed. You can see you can hear the. Okay. So actually, let's
just take it off.
And we can see the 3 buttons. So from the top of the center button, we can just put a modified pick, a hook, it can be a wire. We just insert that through that and move the latch mechanism and open the safe. I can hear the. That's it. Let's give it a more curve.
And it's open.
Okay, what we're doing is going through the latch and the mechanism that blocks that, we're just moving, which is right here. It's exactly in the position that we need it. Just press the buttons, but that's all we need.
Right.
The manufacturer left an easy access to move the latching mechanism in order to open the safe.
Okay, now let's talk about access to the reset button.
Okay. Yeah, this is something that we see in this safe and many other safes like these ones, that the reset button is just inside the safe, supposedly protected inside the safe. Okay, we're gonna access that button with very simple tools. We're just gonna use a screwdriver to just pry it open a little bit. That's the first 1, 2. Now we have to hit it again. That's all we need. The all combination center 4 times is no longer working. We just created our own combination. We can either remove the cable, still the box. This is another issue that we see in many of the stack-on keys. We use this piece of flat brass to reset the combination. Now we're gonna use that same flat. I'm just gonna cut 2 corners. I'm gonna simulate like the tip of a key. And we're gonna use that also to open the safe. Let me just put it on front so you can see it. This is what we call reverse picking, and we have seen
a lot of examples of this. And the lock is open. Basically, we're withdrawing the straight piece of metal and catching each of the wafers at shear line, and it's a trivial issue to open it. This next demonstration is the Stack-On PDS-500. The packaging from Stack-On says it's a high security strong box drawer safe. Keep your valuables secure. There's a picture of valuables including a automatic weapon. It also represents on the side of the packaging This is a California DOJ approved firearm safety device that meets the requirements of California Penal Code section 12088 and the regulations and issued thereafter. So the state of California is saying that this box is secure. It is not. There's two ways we're going to show you how to get into it at least. One is chipping a little piece of plastic away from the corner and directly accessing the unlocking mechanism. The other, which is even more of concern, is bypassing the little wafer lock. We'll show you the forced entry bypass first. Toby?
We did this with a regular knife from my kitchen. I got a hole here also. This is just a screwdriver. You see, this is...
It's very cheap plastic. We don't believe in plastic. That's our first problem.
Okay, so that's really not the problem. The problem is there is an access hole for the cables, which probably, let me see if we can get this wire through here, right there. Okay, and these systems are very simple. It's just a solenoid that moves away in order for the bolt to retract.
Yeah, this is a very common design characteristic, especially among the Chinese safes.
So if we can open that hole bigger, let me get, we just have to find that solenoid. And the safe is open. And actually, let's open this safe so we can see what we're talking about. Right there you can see the wire, and you can see it's a big opening because somehow they had to communicate from the circuit board from the outside keypad. So it doesn't matter if the keypad is not strong, but at least you need some type of protection. There's the solenoid that we just access with that piece of wire. And it's basically a straight piece of wire.
Yeah, it's very simple access. This is not a secure container at all. And for the state of California to be rating this as compliant with their regulations and standards points out what we've been talking about for many years, which is the standards really don't address what they should. Mm-hmm. This is the lowest common denominator for manufacturers to get by the standards. Okay, we're still on the PDS 500, the high security strongbox safe that Stack-On makes. This is even a more critical problem. It's the lock that they used to bypass the electronics. Toby, let's go ahead and essentially pick that with a flat piece of metal.
First, okay.
Or a paper clip.
Let's do both. Actually, let's do first the key. Behind the cover, what we don't see is a bypass cylinder in case the battery dies for servicing, the electronics die. You can use a key. I'm going to show you the key. This is a double-sided key. Okay, I'm just putting the key, removing the key little by little, so you can see it has all the wafers. It has a code, so you can order the key through the manufacturer through that code. And actually, let me just leave one of the keys there. Okay, because we're gonna emulate or simulate this key with something different. First, we're gonna use this flat of stock, brass stock. I just cut the two tips so we can insert this into the keyway. The safe is locked. We just have to put tension, remove a little bit and now we can open the safe.
Yeah, I should point out how this is a common method of opening locks. You're basically backing out of the keyway and trapping each wafer at shear line, and this is a really cheap lock, so it's not difficult to do at all.
Okay, so let's lock it again, and now we're gonna use something different, something that is gonna be even, I would say, rare.
Yeah.
Okay, which is gonna be a paper clip. So we're just gonna do the same thing. We're gonna use the two sides for the paper clip
Has both a tension wrench and backing out of the wafers.
and that's it. The safe is open again.
Yeah. So this is really a serious problem, because believe me, any kid can do this. This is not difficult, and this information is on the internet with regard to wafer locks, even some pin tumbler locks.
Right there.
Yep. So for California to be certifying this lock doesn't speak very well for the standards. This next segment details the stack-on models PS 5, 7, and 10B, B for biometric. All of these safes have the same keypad control. They have a biometric fingerprint reader and a key bypass. Different size boxes, but all the same mechanism. They're all the same defects. We're going to show you how to open these in a variety of fashion. These are all California DOJ certified. None of them should be. We cannot imagine that California would have tested these properly unless it's self-certification by Stack-On. We bought 3 of these different versions because we could not believe the first one that we opened how simple it was. So we wanted to confirm our findings with 3 different versions, and they're all vulnerable, as we will show. Okay, Toby, let's talk about these 3 safes. Let's describe them, and let's talk about the key first.
Okay, we have these 3 safes, and what they have in common, they have a bypass key. All these keys are different. These keys, they're different between them. Okay, so it means this will not open this one will not open this one, and none of this key will open that one. Okay, so that is okay until we can use a paper clip in order to bypass those. And it's very simple. Just put in the paper clip, give it a little torque, remove it. This safe is open.
Just like we showed on another segment.
Mm-hmm.
It's obviously the same lock.
It is the same lock. They use the same lock mechanism for their different models. There's some very few variations, but this is what really concerns us. You rely on your biometrics. This is what really, or in the case of this one, we just make from a piece of flat, we just made the key for that one.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to show the most serious problem that we perceive with these 3 different safes, all biometric, all stack-on. 2 of these safes we've tested before. The 3rd one we took out of the box, we have not done this. And so this safe has not been opened before and then fixed from what we did for the other 2. And that'll be explanatory in just a moment. So Toby, let's show the vulnerability of the fingerprint reader. Now let me just say, everybody thinks because it's biometric, because it's encrypted, because there's electronics, that it's secure. In our world, that doesn't mean very much. And the manufacturer has integrated fingerprint for biometric identification, which is just fine, but they didn't consider the physical security side of this issue. And that's the big problem, because at the end of the day, we don't care about the fingerprint reader. We care about getting around the fingerprint reader and actuating the mechanism. So Toby, let's show how we're going to do this.
Okay. We're not going to use any tools right now. We're going to use only our fingers, but from the top, we're just going to push really hard Basically now we're creating a hole. It's a big hole. So this one, we did it previously. This was the first one that we have. Same thing we're gonna do with this one. And this one is a brand new. We haven't even tried it. So you see it's a little bit harder, but
there we go.
We have the hole. The problem is now that we have access just to put a wire through, and then we can access the solenoid.
And the door is open.
Okay. Same thing we can do because they all share the same
mechanism.
Same mechanism.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're gonna. This one actually has a small protection, but still we can go through the protection to that protective cover. The hole is too big. My finger, we're gonna do a tight shot from the inside. It's amazing. So we just have to play with some wires in order to open this.
Yeah, this one wins what we call the Jenna Lynn Award for 2012 for incompetent design.
Let me just put it like that because this is has a very strong spring.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And the safe is open, same problem. Okay, now we've set up for a macro shot on the back of one of these biometric containers. Toby, and we've put the fingerprint reader back in its normal state, locked in, as you can see.
This is the fingerprint reader. We have our solenoid, our key bypass, and our bolt work. So what we did previously was using our finger to push that reader outside their housing. So now we have a very, very big opening in which we can stick a wire and access.
Yeah, and you can see the pin going down, and that controls the bolt work on basically all of these safes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a little solenoid pin. It's the same one that we vibrated with the stack-on safe involved in the death of the 3-year-old child. So this is exactly what we're doing, and it's very simple, and they're all subject to this vulnerability. This next demonstration is the QAS 1200B. It's also a biometric. It's called aptly a quick access safe with biometric lock. This is another failure of engineering. This is a little better designed, however. It's got a Chicago lock, which is a lot better than the other safes that we've looked at. It's a little tougher to open. And this has got a fingerprint reader, much like all the laptops use. This is, again, on the packaging, approved by California DOJ firearm safety device. So, again, the state of California is telling the consumer that this is secure. Perhaps the state of California might want to re-examine their standards.
Okay, this is how we're going to open the safe. You see this cover, same as the first one that we did. It's just glued in. This is our fingerprint reader. Okay, and it's mounted in 2 plastic posts. Okay, the problem with those is in order for them to mount that, they glue those and it has a hole. So I can use a small screwdriver and pop that little spacer that they use. After that, through that hole, I can see the locking mechanism. So we just have to go through that hole and the safe is open. we can just put back everything together. We can put the pose,
So you'll never know when you were into it.
our fingerprint reader. We can put our cover. Okay, and actually what we can do also is press the button and enroll our own finger. So we don't have to go through this process again. That's it. This safe is, how we say, done.
Done, yes. This next demonstration is the QAS 710 Strongbox Quick Access Drawer Safe. Again, very true statement. This is one of the poorer designs that we've seen. It's got a clever latching mechanism. This is a motor drive. There's supposed to be a protective mechanism to keep this from being tampered with, but it doesn't. It's key access or keypad, and we're going to show you a couple different ways to open this. This again is not a secure container. There's a picture with a weapon inside of it, which means that the manufacturer is representing that it is secure to contain guns. Toby, let's do it.
This one, we're really concerned about the latching mechanism. In this specific one, we just remove the back cover to show a little bit on the inside, but it won't affect the security of the, well, if we try to open it from the back, yeah. Let's just do the first one. Let's just press the code. It opens, and it's a motor that is supposed to lock this mechanism back, but we can just use a piece of metal shim, brass shim, and opens this safe through the side. Not difficult at all.
No, as a matter of fact, one of the pin that they use for securing the lid against the body can be used as a guide, so it's very quickly accomplished.
So they have a protection from the top, so you cannot access the latch mechanism, but right here, this is what we're tripping. Okay, so then we thought that we can use also a straw to do the same trick. So let's do it. Let's open.
Yeah, this is what we would call the last straw, or the final straw.
So we just have to get to that system, and that's it.
Yeah, not very difficult and not good engineering at all.
Now we're going to talk about the key bypass. We examined the key bypass and we noticed something really peculiar on this safe. If we use a screwdriver and put torque on it, little by little, that safe is open. Now we can use the same screwdriver to go back. Okay, and let's just test the key. Let me see if it's this one. The key still works. Another thing that we notice on this safe is on the LEDs. If we can use something to pull them out. So we're gonna get like this one. Let's see. So then we have access to the interior of the safe, and we can try to manipulate the mechanism that, let me put it this way, you know, everything that we can exploit to get inside the safe and move the mechanism that opens the safe, that's a problem.
Yeah, it's not good design. This is definitely not a secure container and would not be recommended to store weapons.
Okay, another issue that we found on this one was, in order to change, let me open the safe, we have a micro switch here at the back of the door. So let me just open it with the combination. Okay, let's change that combination to 111. So we have a button here. So we have to wake up press this button, 1 pound, and now we have changed the combination. Okay, what the manufacturer did is, and I'm gonna do it just by turning the safe. If we press the pound, we try to press the button, we don't get into the combination change, because there is the switch that tells us the door is locked. So you need the door open in order to reset that combination. Now that's another issue, because we can just see the micro switch right there. So if you use a piece of wire, you can just lift that micro switch. And actually, let me get close. I think you're gonna hear the... Okay, now in that position, there is also no protection to get into the reset button. As you can see here, we just have to bend a piece of metal, get into the door, and access that switch. So now we can set our own combination. We just have, it's a little bit, we have to follow some more steps, but it's still, it can be done. This is the second one. This is the first one that we bought. Basically same problems with the shim and the use of torquing open the cylinder. So that's why we decided to get the second one, just to confirm that we can really do that. And again, the key, this is the key for this one. It still works after we have done this trick with the cylinder a couple of times.
This next video is a competitive product to stack on, but it also represents the insecurity in this sector of the industry. There's 4 buttons, you push the combination, or it's got a key bypass. Toby, let's open it.
Just open it, okay. Let's open it with the combination first. When we talk about holes, we don't like holes that we can get access inside the safe. Right there we can access the reset button in order to set a new combination. As you can see, the green light. So we don't like anything that we can access through these holes. Let's open this safe in a different way. Okay, you just lock it. Okay. Usually this manufacturer copies their design, and they copy also their problems. And let's just remove from this safe.
Okay, so Toby, we've got the cover pulled off, and now we're going to pry underneath it to gain wire access to trigger the mechanism.
We can just use a screwdriver, so we can wedge a little bit between the locking housing and the box, so we can stick a wire through that hole to that opening, and we can access the same mechanism that the cylinder is gonna actuate and open the safe. So that would be one way to do it. This is not a bad design, but again, if you give me access, fast access, to the safe, remember, once we put this cover again, nobody will notice that we gained access to the safe.
There's no forensic indication at all.
There is other hole right here, which is where the LED for the safe is give us the status. We can just insert a wire over there, and this time we're gonna try to hook the wire mechanism that works on the safe. It's like a spring, and it is a spring loaded. That's what it closes the mechanism. So we're gonna disengage this side, and it's gonna force the mechanism open. Let me just grab the problem now. This safe remains open all the time.
Yep.
But the safe is open. It's quick access through existing holes. And actually, if we put this here, we find the safe open. We have not even a clue how that was done.
This segment is about the Bulldog Vault. Not a safe, but a vault, which would indicate maybe it's more secure. This is also sold, I believe we bought this at Cabelas. And again, it's got the same problems, same bypass. This is really quite amazing. Toby, let's describe how this works. There's several different ways of getting into this. Basically with a wire going through the battery port or around the system. Toby?
There's two ways that we can open this safe. We just made a small shim from a piece of flat brass stock, and we can just go and push the mechanism through a hole on the side and access the same as we're doing from the top. So this one is one way to do it, and the other one is to do it like a wire from the cloth hanger. And one of the problems here is let's see if you can see the sparks.
Yeah, this is really a brilliant design because we're going through and shorting out against the internal battery, which means that it can burn up the wiring, burn up the batteries, but you can also open the mechanism.
Well, as we said, this is a working unit. Let's do it a little bit faster. So we just have to put that, and the safe is open.
Yeah.
This is that's why we believe that these are more easy ways to open this safe. And again, no indication that we were in.
This is a summary of what we've talked about in the preceding videos with regard to stack-on and other gun safes. Basically, what we've shown is that all of these safes can be bypassed mechanically. Even the most secure biometric, with the fingerprint readers, with the keypads, with the fingerprint reader there, with the biometric, you press one or more combination of buttons. Okay, every one of these is defective. Every single one of these safes have common characteristics that the manufacturers do not understand. The primary rule is the key never unlocks the lock. That's the first thing we teach design engineers. And it's really applicable in the design of all of these safes. Every single one of these safes has holes for mounting, for access. We can exploit those holes and trigger the unlocking mechanisms. We can trigger the reset mechanisms and enter a new combination. There's a variety of simple ways to open these safes, and kids can open these safes. This does not take a rocket scientist to figure this out. We've done it as we've shown you with straws, with wires, with shims. The bottom line is all of these safes, a screwdriver as well, a screwdriver, vice grips, scissors, it's not a problem. These are all common tools as defined in the California Department of Justice standards, by the way. So as we've shown, all of these safes, in our view, are defectively designed with potentially catastrophic results. So we would urge the manufacturers to recall these safes, to take them off the market, and we would urge all the retailers, and we will be talking to the major retailers. These safes are not secure. They should not be sold as represented until they are fixed. And all of the safes that are out there, first of all, there should be a Consumer Product Safety Commission recall, because this is putting the public at risk. This has been Mark Tobias and Tobias Blues-Manis with investigative law offices and security labs with this report. And we hope that it's been educational, especially for law enforcement and security professionals.